looking for a solution to counter the guerrilla tactics of our then communist armed groups. They're called the Hooks.
Skilled in unconventional jungle warfare, the unit was modeled after two legendary fighting groups, the intelligence-gathering American Alamo Scouts and the combat-ready U.S. Army Rangers. 112 students joined the first Scout Ranger class. Only 72 graduated. But to become a member of this elite group, soldiers must first pass 6 months of advanced training. And it all starts here, at Camp Texan, San Miguel, Bulacan, in the northern Philippines. These 206 volunteers are already trained soldiers from other Army regiments.
Rangers, good morning.
Vying to become part of an even more elite military club. First, they will be stripped of all their ranks. Here, every man is equal. All aiming for one thing: the coveted tabak of the Scout Ranger Training School.
The red border signifies the blood, sweat, and tears shed by every ranger during his course. The sword symbolizes our special unit capability, and the words we strike symbolizes our capability to go anywhere, any place, and anytime.
Today is known as Reception Day, and recruits are in for a grueling welcome. For the next 5 hours, these instructors will try and break as many as possible through continuous physical exercises. It's not just the instructors who will be brutal. Today is a searing 32 degrees Celsius. Just 10 minutes in, and the course has already claimed its first victim to the heat. But he's not alone. 4 more recruits have reached their limits. Recruit 54 has collapsed from heat exhaustion. He's being taken to the medical area to get his body temperature down. For others, hell has just begun. The second run sees more recruits drop. Medics are called in for even more severe cases of heat exhaustion. The exercise has depleted their bodies of essential water and salts. It results in dizziness, vomiting, loss of consciousness, and control. If not treated fast enough, it can develop into heat stroke, a potentially fatal condition.
If the condition is already heat stroke, the regulatory mechanisms of the body has already malfunctioned.
Ibuksan mo to niya kasi kinagat niya yung tila niya. Sagatin mo. Ranger! Ranger! Sagatin mo. Buksan mo.
Then the patient started to bleed. That would result to multiple organ failure.
Recruits are only allowed up to 72 hours of medical grace from the entire course. If they use up all these hours, they will fail. It's only been 1 hour since they signed up, and already, some are so ill they won't recover in time. Only the strongest will survive.
Sa schooling kasi ito, mag-briefing na kasi ako sa mga senior ko na nauna pa sa akin na mag-schooling nito. Kung gusto mo talagang makuha ang isang bagay, pagbutihin mo yung kuan talaga na yung galing sa puso mo ba na
The next challenge sees them hitting the ground.
Roll to the right. Roll.
The unfit or unwilling have no place in the Scout Rangers.
Bilisan! 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 Bilang!
At age 32, Recruit 1 is one of the oldest in the course.
This is my ambition. It is very difficult and it's very hard to be trained as a ranger. That's why I don't know what's the training I will going to survive this kind of course.
Sa likod. Kapa. Higa! Higa na agad! Soprano! 3, 2, 1, 2! Hey!
2 hours to go. For those still in the game, the pain is nearly over. Reception has nearly ended. But this last tradition is a hard one to stomach. Chilies.
Kaya mo yan? Uy, eh, sulunok. Lunok. Paano ka makasama? Paano ma... Huwag ilulunok. Swallow. Swallow!
Right now, this is the final phase of our reception rites. We're trying to let them eat the chili pepper
Lunok!
and the juice of it.
Okay. Bunso! Sinuka mo! Dadagdag. Ininom mo. Sige ka.
So after this, they're licking the tabak sign or insignia.
Tabak! Okay. Yakapin niyo yung musang. Alab yung musang. Alab yung musang!
And then the Musang or the Black Panther, it's our logo for the Scout Rangers.
Finally, reception day is over. But disappointment sets in as these recruits realize their Scout Ranger dream is over.
Hindi ko na nalaman kung saan ako nag-give up yung katawan ko. Basta nagising na lang ako na parang nahihilo na hindi na nakayanan ng katawan ko.
At the end of day 1, the damage is clear. 35 have quit. 171 remain standing. And this is just the beginning. Philippine Scout Ranger recruits are 7 weeks into their brutal training regime. 53 have already dropped out.
Those who fail to graduate has one thing in common. They easily give up. The battle has been won yet. They already doubt themselves. Once you doubt yourself, definitely you will not finish the course.
Pag-exit sa static line, sisigaw ng Opera Pin. Nakuha!
The recruits will test their heads for heights today. They're going to learn to rappel on this 45-foot tower.
Ranger Frontier, request permission to enter the tower at the back. Sergeant!
Scout Rangers pride themselves in lightning infiltration and extraction, often from helicopters, into dense jungles.
Rangers specialize in jungle warfare. They rappel down mountains, cross rivers, using expedite methods or anything that's available within them.
In the jungle, they need to feel comfortable hanging at 100 feet in the air, well under fire. In a battle zone, quick execution of these skills could mean the difference between life and death. Recruits will have to complete 4 crucial forms of rappelling: the seat hip rappel, the lizard rappel, the rundown rappel, and the heli rappel.
and then hawak sa brake. Hit apart. Okay. Hold the rope.
Recruits 1 and 155 are up first with the seat hip rappel, used for mountain evacuations. Recruit 155 is one of the youngest in the course.
Naramdaman ko po, kinakabahan po ako ngayon. Dahil first time ko po ito nalulula dahil sa mataas ng tatawirin nito. Pagsubok ko sa buhay.
Okay, go. Ranger, Opo, ready to perform. Sit and propel, boss, start. Go.
Ranger Kirante, ready for perform!
The first exercise is cleared. They've performed well, even recruit 155.
Ito lang yung nagawa namin na medyo kabado hanggang sa ngayon, kabado pa rin. Pagkatapos ko ng talon, parang nakangkit ko na yung kaba ko sa ilong ko.
For the next few hours, each recruit gets a turn to perform the other 3 types of rappels.
Yung hindi namin napapansin na pagkaragala yung estudyante. Once na hindi nakahook up, malaglag siya or matulak ng kasama.
For Recruit 197, the Lizard rappel used for clearing rooms with hostages is proving a challenge. This fully loaded M16A1 rifle weighs over 3 kilograms.
Mas mahirap dito sa Lizard, yung tali, mas masakit siya sa bewang mo. Kasi pababa yung ulo, yung bigat nandun lahat, tapos may baril pa. Masakit talaga siya.
Next, they must conquer the Slide for Life, a 200-meter flying fox.
Ang importante po ng Slide for Life, kung nag-ooperate tayo, may mga cases na madaanan natin to, lalo na sa mga ilog, malalalim na ilog.
It's a 7-second expressway to safety or injury.
Kung pagdating mo doon sa taas, paghawak mo ng pulley, pag hindi ka nakagrip, may posibilidad na malalaglag ka dito. Tapos makon yung katawan mo, ma-crack.
Not getting it right here won't kill them.
Na dapat doon sila bumagsak sa kabila dahil for secure. Kung dito kasi delikado at medyo mababaw na kasi may mga bato-bato na dyan.
But in the jungle, one mistake could mean death. Next up is amphibious training. Some recruits are weak swimmers. This phase will aim to weed out those that can't make the grade. Recruits will be thrown into this 12-foot deep river, blindfolded and in full combat gear, weighing 30 kilograms. The aim is to first disorient them, then see if they can calmly recover and reach the surface. For recruits terrified of water, this is their worst nightmare. Recruit 181 will confront one of his lifelong fears.
So, kinakabahan ako dito kasi dito, mahina talaga ako sa kuan, langoy. Nung nangyari sa akin noon, nalunod kasi ako, matagal akong sa tubig. May phobia na talaga ako dyan, pero sinusubukan ko lang yung, parang kina-counter ko lang yung takot ko dyan.
Recruit 181 survives this first challenge. But up next is an even tougher one. In small groups, recruits must tread water for 30 minutes in this 5-by-5 meter square. Fresh water has a density lower than salt water, making floating much more difficult. For those waiting, the cold and cramping is causing problems they don't need.
1 minute. Ranger, ito kita. Ranger, gitna.
Marunong lang lumangoy pero hindi ko sigurado kung tatagal ng 30 minutes sa tubig.
Madikip kayo dyan.
But recruits have more to worry about than staying afloat.
Prepare.
At the end of the 30 minutes, the instructors will jump in and attack the weak.
5 ka, sa gitna na kayo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Time!
recruits don't have the energy or aggression to fight back, they could find themselves in deep trouble. If recruits fail the first time, they are forced to redo this until the course director is satisfied. For the poor swimmers, this is hell.
We have this drowning part for training for our recruits, for them to get prepared when they engage their enemies in the water. If someone is drowning them, they don't get panic and they know what to do.
5 ka, sa gitna na kayo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Time!
Recruit 199 is in trouble.
Yung sinakyan ako ni CD, talagang mabigat tsaka parang mawawalan na ako ng malay ka lang. Unti-unti na lang naubos yung lakas.
The recruits survive amphibious training. But what lies ahead will test their nerve. The Scout Rangers are an elite strike unit on constant standby to deploy against insurgent groups across the Philippines archipelago. June 7th, 2001. Muslim insurgents, the Abu Sayyaf, hold 3 civilian hostages deep in the jungle after kidnapping them from the Dos Palmos resort in Palawan a year before. After stalking them for days, Scout Rangers track the guerrillas' footprints through the night. By the next day, the Rangers creep within 30 meters of their targets. For the next 2 hours, they engage in intense firefight against 30 rebels in muddy and thick terrain. 4 enemies are left dead and 1 hostage rescued. Marksmanship is a key skill for a Ranger. Today, these recruits need to prove they have it.
Fire when ready.
Fundamental understanding of positioning, aiming, breathing, and correct trigger pressing will be put to the test in 5 separate skills. Zeroing.
1 inch below the line of sight.
Endurance firing, record firing, and the sneaker course. But it is the final exam that is the most nerve-wracking of all. A confidence test that can kill. Recruits are required to shoot 2 bags full of colored water at a distance of 25 meters using this M16A1 rifle with a 5.56 caliber round. First, they practice. Then their teammates hold the bags. At this range, a 5.56 round could kill. Hitting the thigh could rupture the femoral artery, one of the body's most important blood vessels. Rapid blood loss leading to death can occur in just 5 minutes, and the margin for error is slim.
So kahit na perfect na ibang part ng fundamentals, pag nagkaroon ng error sa trigger, konting error lang, maaaring ang target hindi na siya tatamaan. Maaaring kakaliwa ang bala or kakanan.
This is more than just marksmanship. It's a test of trust.
Pagkaibigan mo kasi, kakabahan ka na maaari mo siyang matamaan o hindi.
It's judgment time. One target down. Lucky for his friend, Recruit 22 passed and they both move 1 step closer to being a Ranger. Next, the recruits begin the heliborne training phase. Scout Rangers can deploy quickly into conflict areas by air. Landing into hostile territory, a helicopter is a big target. These men need to get out as quickly and safely as possible to avoid the helicopter getting hit.
Bali, ang tinuturo ko sa kanila ay paano yung tumalon and then i-secure yung mga landing zone, paano nila i-secure din yung mga personnel during movement, loading and unloading ng personnel.
Stakes here can cost lives, even in training.
Napakahalaga yan, ma'am, na malaman nila kasi as a Scout Ranger, hindi mo na kailangan pang i-command.
First, recruits gear up for the quick deployment method. If the terrain is clear, the helicopter can fly fast and low while the troops disperse.
Makibagay ka, makisama, makiramdam mga dito sa surrounding.
It's a risky 10-foot jump, and one mistake could result in broken bones. Next, they have an even tougher challenge, heli rappelling.
Yung heli rappel ay ginagamit yan during infiltration na kung saan hindi kayang bumaba ng aircraft. Hindi kaya niyang bumaba ng sa ground, mag-touch sa ground, kaya kailangan magbaba yung tropa use of the rope.
Recruits practiced this skill at the tower earlier in training, but now they take it to new heights. They need to complete nerve-wracking drops from 50, 70, and finally 80 feet above the ground, with nothing to stop them but their hands.
Ang nervous hindi natin inevitable. Talagang ganyan. Pag una, nervous pero i-control mo.
Recruits first tackle the 50-foot drop.
Kung tumalong ka ng siyang beses, paulit-ulit mo nang hanapin dahil nagaganahan ka na at excited ka na.
One step further at 70 feet, the winds become harder to battle.
The training is located near the mountainous areas, so tendencies for the wind to blow from all directions, making it harder for the pilots to control the aircraft.
Next, it's time for the big one. One mistake during this 80-foot drop could prove fatal. Recruit 20 experiences trouble. He's unable to control his descent. Quickly, an instructor hits the brake.
Tuloy-tuloy na ako kaya kung halimbawa walang biliman tapos nangyari din sa field. Kung hindi ka naka-brake, diretso ka talaga. May tendency na mabalian ka or mamatay.
Tomorrow, the recruits will face their toughest challenge yet. 153 recruits remain in the fight to become an elite Scout Ranger. Today is the beginning of Hell Week. A culmination of everything they've learned put to the test.
For the next 6 days, there will be no rest for them. We push the students to the edge, testing their stamina, confidence, psychological toughness. As the day goes by, the test will get tougher.
If they fail one part, the recruits will be recycled to the next class or returned to their mother unit. First up is land navigation.
Land navigation is very important as a Scout Ranger. Scout Rangers should never get lost in the jungle. If you get lost, you won't be able to accomplish your mission. You will jeopardize your team.
The stakes will be high in 3 months' time when these recruits face real enemies. They must prove they can lead the way. Each recruit is given a unique navigation route comprising of any 5 of these 24 targets. The chart contains a set of colors with different corresponding letters. They have to find their way point to point, but no one route is the same for any of these 153 recruits. They have 4 hours to complete the test, and the course could see them covering over 12 kilometers. If a recruit returns late or does not complete his answer sheet correctly, he will fail. Recruit 8 has reached 3 of his 5 targets in under 2 hours.
It's 170 degrees and the distance is 1,100 meters from here. It's my 4th target.
Now on to his last destination.
Because there's a stake under the mango tree.
But the directions to this one aren't as straightforward.
Ito to, kung sindot yung bakod na yan.
Yan, pwede rin, sir.
Pag ganun, pababa. There's no other stake.
He is lost.
Bukal ba kayo dito?
And he's not the only one. Time is ticking down. If they don't get back in the next hour, they will fail. And they're a long way from home.